Okay, so we're going to talk about independent versus dependent variables when it goes to functions. So let's go ahead and write the definitions here. Independent x values. And this is what I told you guys is like your parents, right? They're very independent, okay? Maybe they have a job, maybe they have other responsibilities, but they're independent. They are functioning people in our society, right? And then dependent is the y values, and that's you. As much as you guys want to believe you're independent, right? You can do things on your own. You're not like a toddler that needs help with stuff, but you depend on your parents basically for survival, right? Food, clothing, a place to live, getting you to all of your athletic events or hobbies or groups or practices, okay? Shoes on your feet, you depend on your parents for that, right? So we're going to just do a couple of examples here, identifying which is independent and which is dependent. So we're going to look at this function, y equals negative 4x plus 14. So this represents y of avocados you have left over after x batches of guacamole. Okay, so what this means is you start out with 14 avocados. How many avocados does it take per batch? Based on this information, who can tell me? I start out with 14.
4 times x plus.
So how many avocados does it take per batch of guacamole? 4, because I'm losing 4 avocados, right? 4 per batch, and I start out with 14. So my independent variable equals x, and that's batches of guacamole. My dependent variable is the y. That's how many avocados I have left over. So if I'm making 2 batches of guacamole, so that's independent, that is going to determine how many avocados I have left. That's why it's dependent. So the number of avocados literally depends on how many batches I make. So in this scenario, what if I made 2 batches? How many avocados am I going to have left over? How did you get that? Right, I put 2 in for x, and that's going to help me determine how many avocados I have left over because it depends on how many batches I made, right? So let's do one more example. Actually, let's use this. Let's say for my domain, 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So these are my x values. Let's find out how many avocados I would have left depending on what I use for my x values. So I'm going to write my function. So if I do one batch, Will, how many am I going to have left? Yep. Right, so if I put that 1 in for x, that's my independent variable, and then based on that, I can find out how many avocados are left over. So this 10 is literally depending on this 1 here, like how that works out. We'll do one more. We already did 2, so what if I have 3 batches? How many avocados will I have left over? Parker?
2.
2. Can I make a 4th batch? Sure, unless I want to make half of a batch, in which case I have to take every ingredient and cut it in half, right?
Yeah, you could cleanly make a half batch.
I could. But then you don't want to share, right? Because that's not enough guacamole to share. Let's be honest.
And if you combine all batches of guacamole, I think it's enough to share.
Okay, so this is page 14?
Here's page 13.
So 13 was the last page of my notes.
Yeah.
So I think this is page 14.
13. No, yeah, 13.
It's 13 for you guys?
We managed to optimize our space.
That's okay. Whatever page it is for you, go ahead and put that at the bottom. And now we're going to pretend like it's tomorrow. So we're going to turn the page, and we're going to be on our next day.